What's good? Today's music business session will actually be a question that I got from someone over WhatsApp. Just before I get going, I must thank you for migrating. If you migrated across from WhatsApp to YouTube, even if it was just for last week's voice note, I am very, very happy. The first one got decent, decent response, so I'm just gonna keep on shooting these out. Maybe one will help you, maybe you prefer the voice note version over WhatsApp, in which case that's cool, you can head back there. But thank you. So the question came through from a person by the name of N King. Shout out to N King. What he was asking in a nutshell, it was a voice note, what he was asking in a nutshell is, if and how long should an artist, an independent artist, perform for free? He basically alluded to the example where in his local area, people from time to time will call local artists to come in and perform, but for nothing, right? So he basically wanted to know when to gauge it. How long should they be doing this for? And should they even be doing it? And what sort of things should they be looking out for? So this is always an interesting one for me, because I believe it applies to most industries, most creative industries, especially because first of all, if we look at it, this industry is not regulated at all. There's nothing that says that this is how much you need to get paid for a beat, this is how much people usually charge for a gig. There is no standards, right? It's all based on supply and demand. If people want to see you, people want to see you, and people are willing to pay provided you are bringing something and you are a little bit more popular than the next person, right? This is how people get these opportunities. Now, having said that, for you to break into that industry, you're obviously going to need some kind of starting point, and that starting point is usually a humble one. It means performing in front of very, very small crowds to try and generate a little bit more buzz for yourself, so that you can then step it up and move to the next level. Should you perform for free? I definitely believe that there is always a space for that. The reason I say that is that even if it is for free, there are ways that you can leverage a performance so that it doesn't fall on deaf ears, or people actually do get a chance to resonate with it. So for an example, in the first case, a person goes, they perform, and then they see the same 7 people there, they have a great time with those 7 people, and then they leave, right? They've gone, they haven't been paid anything, maybe they buy them a drink at the bar, something small like that, and you're done. Obviously something like that doesn't really sit well, because this is your time, your energy, your effort. You've put a song together, you've put a set together, and now you're here, you're performing, and you're getting nothing. Whereas in a case example where you would make the most of it, you could see those 7 people at that event, give the performance of your life, set your camera up, set your phone up somewhere, even if it's not the best quality recording. You can even ask someone else to do it for you, just to move around and record what it is that you've done, right? Already at that point, what that does is it allows you to create a little bit of an experience that can be experienced at a later stage, right? So get them to record the whole thing, all sorts of angles, whatever it is that you can do, they get creative with it. Then from there, not only have you interacted with the 7 people, but now you have content to then post, right? This can then go into your catalog, or can go into, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to make the most of this one event. What could be nice is if you go to this event, sure, you might be performing for free, but bring things that you might be able to give out, whether it be copies of your CDs, whether it be merchandise, whatever it is. You can raffle out a piece of merchandise, or you can give it over to someone and say, thank you so much for coming through. As the most interactive person here, this is what you get. And you hand it over to them. You've created a connection there. Those 7 people, you could sit with them, ask them for their numbers, and you can interact in that way, right? So you've taken a very, very mild experience, and you've absolutely squeezed the life out of it, and you've gotten everything that you can out of it. At the same time, keep in touch with these promoters, because you don't know whether this promoter knows the next promoter, and whether or not they would be happy to have you at the next gig. If you come through and you're able to make things happen, right? People get excited by what you do, then you might find that you are invited back. I remember my small crew when I was staying in Cape Town. We didn't have much. No one knew who we were, but what we did was we set up an event, right? Our own little event. We asked the place, very, very, very quiet bar. Most of the time it was quiet. Whenever we went there were 2 or 3 people playing pool, and there was usually more staff there than there were patrons, right? Until we came in groups of like 4 or 5 or 6. I think it only really got full when they were like sporting events. So on all the other nights it was empty. So what we did is we picked a quiet night and we said we're gonna come through. Nothing's really happening here anyway. Can we use this space? We'll bring our own equipment, we'll bring whatever it is, and we will do our thing. Obviously, in terms of drinks and stuff, we're going to get them to use this place. There will be no money paid at the door. We don't need to take any door. We just want to have an event, right? Bring your friends. Bring a lot of your friends, and your friends will bring your friends. Especially being that time, you're in varsity, you're in that sort of party mood. You don't mind going out and just supporting a friend and just seeing what's up, even if they pop by for a bit, but you then have this experience. What we then did is we took those, and even though those were our friends in the crowd, we still took videos. People were wiling out and having a good time, which was perfect. It's exactly what we wanted, because when we took that content and we posted it to social media, people were like, oh, okay, so there actually was something going on there. At the same time, on the night, people bring other people, and people walking past see what's going on. Now they want to come in and just catch a vibe and check out what's happening. So it's never really free, right? You need to make sure that you actively benefit from what's going on. An equivalent that I'd use for a music producer would be if you get featured on someone's track, right? And you're expecting that someone's going to put your name at the bottom and it's going to say produced by. Don't always expect for that. Don't always expect that's going to happen. You can ask if it doesn't happen, but sometimes it's not going to happen. It happened to me many, many times where I was just like, yo, why is my name not on the artwork at the very least? Or tag me in social media, do something for me. And I guess the artist basically thought that that I was benefiting by the sheer fact that I was the one who produced the song and there were such big names on the song, right? But I had to go out there and actually physically squeeze the life out of that feature by posting about it. I'd post happily. I'd sit in front of the computer and I'd take a video and be like, yo, just produced this track. I'm so excited about it. It's things I wasn't used to, but it's things that helped me, because now I was able to post and people were like, yo, I didn't know you produced that, right? So what I was doing is I was taking that opportunity and absolutely squeezing the life, I don't know why I'm doing this, squeezing the life out of it so that you benefit, right? After some time, people are going to start doing the same thing to you when you get to a place where working with you becomes a good thing, right? For them, a good opportunity. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to ask you to tweet for them. They're going to ask you to do all sorts for them, because they're also trying to squeeze the life out of whatever it is that you are doing, right? It's this cycle of you just trying to gain as much value from a moment. Going back to N King's question, I would say that it is important for you to have a period where you are working, whether it be for free exposure, call it what you want it to be, but there is benefit in doing that. If you're lucky enough and you can start charging right off the bat, go for it. But I promise you, your rate of growth, especially in the beginning, will be a lot faster if you are saying yes to all of these opportunities. If someone gives you a mic and they're like, yo, jump on stage, or I see DJs doing it all the time. One of their friends comes through and they get an opportunity to go and do something else, and the DJ gets an opportunity just to work the decks for a bit. So you want to be in those situations where things are happening for the sake of the opportunity or exposure or for free, like in the case that N King gave, but you're basically building up your repertoire while doing it. It's tough in the beginning, but if you can get through it, then things do work out quite nicely if you're consistent about it. So yeah, that's the question. If you have any comments, if you have any situations or stories of your own that have happened, then please just drop them in the comments. Send me a text depending on which platform you're using, and yeah, connect with me. All my information is in the description, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.